Shedeur Sanders challenges the narrative thanks to impressive NFL preseason debut. Is the culture in Cleveland finally changing? Cleveland's preseason opener didn't just introduce a new quarterback, it introduced a new tone. Rookie Shedeur Sanders, stepping into his first NFL game, threw for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, helping the Browns to a comfortable win over the Panthers. But his biggest move came off the field, when he confronted longtime Browns reporter Tony Grossi after the game. In a moment caught on video by Deion Sanders Jr., Shedeur approached Grossi in the locker room with a calm but direct challenge. "You always say negative stuff about me. I ain't do nothing to you. What did I do to you, Tony?" His tone was more curious than confrontational, ending with a light-hearted chuckle. Still, it was a clear moment of self-advocacy. Grossi, known for his skepticism about Sanders, questioning his college stats, shoulder health, and OTA performances, was caught off guard. The clip quickly went viral, prompting fans and analysts to weigh in. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport called it refreshingly honest, noting that such exchanges happen more often than fans realize. But what made this moment resonate was how naturally it followed Sanders' on-field performance. Minutes before the confrontation, Sanders had delivered a confident and controlled outing. His footwork was clean, his pocket presence sharp, and his decisions sound. While preseason stats often come with an asterisk, the tape backed up the buzz from college. This wasn't just hype. Grossi, perhaps rethinking his stance, offered surprising praise after the game. "I thought Shedeur was outstanding. He's putting real pressure on Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel." Supporters pointed to the maturity Sanders showed both in play and in holding the media accountable. Critics, however, saw entitlement, arguing that a true class act wouldn't challenge reporters. One online commenter wrote, "Just play the game and earn your respect. Don't demand it." Still, Sanders' resume speaks volumes. In college, he set Colorado records for passing yards, 4,134, touchdowns, 37, and completion percentage, 74%. He was a Golden Arm winner and Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. He's not new to scrutiny, and he's used to responding with results. The Browns' quarterback room remains crowded, but Sanders' debut has shifted the internal calculus. Joe Flacco is the veteran. Pickett and Gabriel are still nursing injuries. Sanders? He's QB4 on paper. But his NFL journey has already taken an interesting turn. By confronting the narrative head-on, Sanders didn't just enter the league. He announced he's here to compete. For months, the whispers had been relentless. Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion "Primetime" Sanders, was stepping into the NFL spotlight with more eyes on him than any rookie could reasonably want. But along with the buzz came the skepticism. Some critics claimed he was a college system quarterback, whose success at Colorado wouldn't translate to the pros. Others insisted he was only getting opportunities because of his last name. And a few said flat out he wasn't ready. Too young, too raw, too dependent on clean pockets and favorable matchups. On a humid August evening, under the blinding stadium lights of Cleveland, Sanders got his first chance to answer all of them. The first drive, setting the tone. It started with something simple, a crisp 7-yard completion to his tight end on first down. The ball came out on time, right in the receiver's chest, like he'd been throwing it in that exact window for years. Then came the second throw, a perfectly placed sideline out to Amari Cooper against tight coverage. By the time the drive ended with a field goal, the rookie had already flashed poise, timing, and a presence in the pocket that felt older than his years. It was the kind of opening series that made you sit up in your seat and think, maybe this kid really does belong. Defying the preseason template. Preseason games often look sloppy, vanilla play calls, limited chemistry, and a general sense of just get through this healthy. But Sanders refused to treat it like a tune-up. He attacked coverages with confidence, kept his eyes downfield under pressure, and navigated the pocket instead of bailing at the first sign of trouble. On his third drive, with the Browns backed up near their own goal line, he dropped back on 3rd and long, felt a rush coming from his blind side, and stepped up before launching a dart between 2 defenders for a 22-yard gain. It wasn't just a good throw. It was the kind of decision-making that separates NFL quarterbacks from the rest. The numbers that spoke volumes. By the end of his night, Sanders had completed 14 of 19 passes for 176 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. His passer rating? A healthy 111.3. More impressive than the numbers, though, was the efficiency, spreading the ball to 6 different receivers, making quick reads, and never once putting the ball in obvious danger. Pro Football Focus graded him among the highest rookie quarterbacks of Week 1, and national media outlets that had been lukewarm on him suddenly had new adjectives to work with: decisive, sharp, mature. Challenging the narrative. What Sanders accomplished in those 2 quarters wasn't just about statistics. It was about perception. For weeks, he'd been framed as the untested rookie with a famous father, a player whose story was more about marketing than merit. But that night, the film told a different story. His decision-making looked NFL-ready. His footwork under pressure was crisp. His accuracy held up even on the move. The criticisms, about relying on star receivers in college, about not having faced NFL speed, suddenly felt less certain. Teammates take notice. After the game, Browns veterans didn't mince words. "He's got that calm about him," said guard Joel Bitonio. "It's not just the arm. It's the way he runs the huddle, the way he sees the game. That's what you want in your quarterback." Myles Garrett, the team's defensive anchor, admitted he'd been impressed watching the rookie process blitz looks during practice. "He's not rattled. That's rare for a guy in his first go-round. When veterans of that caliber speak up, it's not just lip service. It's a sign they see something real." Shedeur's response to the hype. If Sanders noticed the shift in tone from the media, he didn't show it. His post-game press conference was measured and focused. "It's just one game. Preseason. There's a lot more I've got to clean up," he said. "But I know what I can do. My job is to show up every day and prove it." It wasn't boastful. It wasn't defensive. It was the same quiet confidence that had been evident from his first snap. Why it mattered more than most preseason debuts. For most rookies, a strong preseason debut is a nice story. For Sanders, it was something bigger, a public rebuttal to months of assumptions about his game. The reality is, NFL narratives can stick to players for years, especially if they come in with celebrity connections or unconventional paths. Sanders wasn't just playing for a box score. He was playing to rewrite his first chapter in the league. And on that humid August night, he did exactly that. The road ahead. Of course, one preseason game doesn't guarantee anything. The defenses will get faster, the schemes more complex, the stakes higher. The next test will be consistency, stringing together performances that show this wasn't a flash in the pan.